Good Yontif. Good Yontif. I would like to begin by honoring the Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Robert Seltzer, who was here last year. Ad Me'ava Esrim, he should live to be 120. He's 91 now. He's live streaming. My friend, my teacher, our teacher, generously mentioned last night when Cy Buckles gave his talk. My rabbi, late Rabbi Edward Sandra, said, "I wish they would kiss it less and study it more." I just want to say another word before I say what I was going to say. I'm kind of reliving 1973. It was the Yom Kippur War. When Daniel mentioned at the beginning of the service the murder of at least 2 people out at the synagogue in Manchester, England, others seriously injured, the ramming of a car, a terrorist getting out and stabbing people, and listening to that news in the morning, I go back to 1973. It was just my second year here at the synagogue, and we were at Elizabeth Seton College in North Yonkers at the time. That's where we had the high holiday services. The nuns who taught at the school were in the back rows in the auditorium. And we had word already, as you can imagine, because of the time difference, of the attack by the entire Arab world on the state of Israel and the Jewish people. And all day long listening to those reports. There was the Yom Kippur liturgy. There was the davening. There was the singing. There were the talks. There was the discussion. But people were listening what were then called transistor radios and coming up to the bima and announcing what was happening, because otherwise we just couldn't keep track. So as I was sitting here this morning and realizing all of the beautiful words that Daniel has spoken to the congregation on these holidays, I can only look back on that time and think that hopefully we won't be reliving that, even though we are reliving a great deal right now. And we come to this holiday, I know, with troubled hearts. But that's where I am in 1973. A story. It was my oldest granddaughter's bat mitzvah just almost 2 years ago up in Boston. And I was helping her with her Devar Torah to prepare her talk to speak to the family and friends in the congregation that day. And Yael had a very unusual Torah portion. It's a portion in the book of Numbers which says that you shall take a red heifer, a young cow, which is unblemished, perfect, with no spot on it, and offer it to the Lord. It shall be sacrificed to the Lord. And Yael was trying to figure out, and she said, "Grandpa, what can I talk about?" And I said, "Well, Yael, if you were a red heifer, what would you hope to find on yourself?" And she said, "A blemish." I said, "That's your talk." We come to this holiday, and hopefully all of us acknowledge that we have blemishes. And if we don't believe that we have blemishes, look out for the high priest who's in the library, because there were sacrifices to perfection. And so we think about our blemishes on this holiday. A second story. It's a story that was written by the late Tilly Olson called "While I Stand Here Ironing." A beautiful short story. It's about a mother and daughter. And the story takes place in the 1930s, even though it wasn't published until 1960s. And this mother is ironing the dress of her teenage daughter. And she's ironing and having a conversation about all these daughter's troubles and about how she's having so many struggles trying to be this daughter's mother. And she's ironing and ironing. She's davening. She's praying with the iron over and over again. And then at the very end of the story, she says, I just hope I'm not trying to iron out all the wrinkles in your life the way I am applying this hot iron to the wrinkles in your dress. We all have wrinkles. We all have wrinkles. And we have to hope that someone isn't trying to iron out our wrinkles and that we're not trying to iron out someone else's wrinkles, because we come here, all of us wrinkled. And a third story. This, a little anecdote by Elie Wiesel. The reframing of a story in the Midrash about three Jews who are having a Talmudic argument with great intensity. And this is not the Tevye story from Fiddler on the Roof. They're having this argument when the Messiah shows up. The Messiah who is going to answer all our questions, who's going to resolve all our struggles. And he's listening to these three men having this argument. And he says to the first one, you're right. And he's very happy. And he says to the second one, and you're right. And he's very happy. But then the third man says, but if they are right, then I'm wrong. And the Messiah says, yes, but I have come for those who are wrong. The people who think they're right didn't need me and don't need me. I come for those who are wrong and those who are wronged. This Torah reading, Nitzavim, we begin in a few moments. Atem Nitzavim kulchem, you stand, all of you, before the Lord your God to re-enter the covenant. The old and the young, your leaders, the women, the children, the stranger in your midst, from the person who chops wood to the person who draws water, your whole community, those who are here and those who are no longer here, and those who are not yet born. I would add, this year especially, to those who are blemished, to those who are wrinkled, and to those who are wronged. And hopefully then we fulfill the command in this Torah portion. We choose life.